Presiding Officer, to ask the Scottish Government what the implications and consequences of not achieving net zero by 2045 would be for Scotland, including the economy.
Minister Alistair Allen.
Well, as I know the member appreciates, net zero offers huge economic opportunities for Scotland, and the changes needed will put money into people's pockets, improve health and well-being and protect our planet for the future generations. Net zero is a moral imperative and an opportunity to support future economic development. Workers must be at the heart of a just transition. Our approach will maximise benefits of climate action and minimise impacts for workers and communities. Our next climate change plan will outline the costs and benefits of policies supported by just transition plans, and our national adaptation plan is driving our response to climate impacts.
Maurice Golden.
I thank the Minister for that answer, and I concur. The consequences of not meeting net zero would drive farmers out of business, destroy the rural economy and put our food security at risk. Does the Minister agree with me it is common sense to meet net zero by 2045 and that it would be utter madness and an act of national self-harm to not attempt to do so?
Minister. Strongly concur with what the member mentions there, and I would indeed agree with what he says about the essential nature of reaching net zero, not just to save our planet, as if that was a small consideration, but also for our businesses, for whom the cost of adaptation and the cost of coping with climate change will become increasingly expensive as we move into the future if we don't tackle this problem as we go. So I would very warmly concur with what the member has just said there.
And supplementary, Sarah Boyd.
Minister, we know that urban and rural communities across Scotland are now at risk from extreme weather and the impact of the climate emergency, with homes and businesses now actually at risk. So what is the Scottish Government's plan to deliver the sustainable jobs now we need locally, both to increase our resilience but also to reduce our emissions? And just give the example of manufacturing of renewables, and to repeat the question asked previously, when will we see the energy strategy and the Just Transition plan to give the certainty developers and supply chain businesses urgently need to deliver that sustainable low-carbon economy? Minister.
Well, as mentioned, some of the plans are dependent on something happening in another sphere, and that is in the courts in terms of UK government interaction with the courts, and so we have to await some of that information. However, as I indicated previously, that fact does not keep us from action. So, for instance, just looking at the North East of Scotland, the £125 million that we've allocated to Aberdeen and the North East economy, or, for instance, the Just Transition Fund for the Just Transition Fund for the North East and Moray, we've allocated £75 million to that, and £125 million to the Aberdeen economy. We're committed to putting real resources and real effort as a government into making sure that the transition is a truly just one.